Let me tell you, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago how I thought my life would go after moving into a quiet lake community being called a terrorist by the HOA president in a red power suit with a GoPro stuck to her head would not have made the list. I swear it felt like the opening scene of some dark comedy there. I was literally holding a coffee maker day 1 minute 5 at my supposedly peaceful lakeside cabin, and this lady is screaming at 911 about me like I just parachuted in from an FBI wanted poster. Sirens, patrol cars, the whole neighborhood looking out their windows. My great escape from city chaos had turned into a one-man episode of Cops before I'd even plugged in my router. I should have known something was off from the welcome basket. 3 months hunting for the perfect remote spot, and now I had a cozy cabin on Lake Serenity, fiber internet, a view so pretty it made Zoom calls look fake. The basket had cookies, wine, and a 500-page full-color HOA rules and regulations book, laminated tabs and all. I actually laughed, thinking someone was messing with me. Who spends money printing HOA rules like it's the Bible? Of course, being a tech guy, I had to share the moment with my tiny YouTube audience, 50 loyal folks who stuck around for my tech reviews and occasional life in the sticks content. Check out this rulebook, I said, streaming the late afternoon sun hitting my new deck, thinking it was peak absurdity. That was until I heard the click of heels on gravel. Through the camera, I caught her a storm in human form, 60 if she was a day sweating in a red blazer. GoPro on her forehead badge the size of a frisbee reading, HA President respect my authority. She didn't even say hi, just screeched, who authorized this? What are you doing here? I introduced myself. Jake Morrison, new tenant lease in hand. She looked at me like I'd dumped trash on her lawn. Tenant. Nobody told me about a tenant. This is a gated community. We have procedures. Before I could get a word in, she pulled her phone like she was drawing a gun, called 911 and said, "There's a suspicious man breaking into our community. He's filming things. Could be dangerous." I just stood there with my camera and the chat exploded. Bro, is she serious? Is that the TikTok HOA lady? Someone screen record this. When the cops showed up, 2 cars, sirens, lights, my audience jumped to 100, eating it up. I showed my paperwork, my ID, the whole 9 yards. Officer Martinez, who I'm pretty sure had seen this movie before, sighed and said, "Mrs. Henderson, he's allowed to be here. He's a legal resident." She went red to her roots but wouldn't let it go, waving the rule book at the cops, demanding they read Section 47 of the bylaws. They just wanted to leave. Martinez pulled me aside and said, "Document everything with her." Wise words, as I'd soon learn. As soon as the cruisers left, Barbara whipped out a little notebook and started documenting photos of my car from every angle, measured the distance from my bin to the curb, even photographed my blinds. "Not regulation beige," she shouted. "Section 12.3. Meanwhile, my phone lit up with donations and new subscribers. "That's the Karen from TikTok," one wrote, and another, "Screen recording this is gold." My viewership was loving the chaos. Little did they know, so was Barbara. That night, I got 47 individual violation emails, fines for everything from parking crooked to unauthorized filming, the irony to blinds that did not match approved swatch. By the time I totaled it up, Barbara wanted $400 in fines, 7 days to pay. Honestly, I almost packed it in right there. Staring at the lake that first drew me here, I wondered if I jumped from one rat race into another. But I noticed something odd. My landlord was listed as Riverside Holdings, LLC. It rang a bell from somewhere, but I put a pin in it. Right then, the bigger story was my inbox. My live stream of Barbara's performance was blowing up online, and a blue-check attorney DM'd me, Sarah Mitchell, 2 million followers specializing in HOA bullies. She said Barbara had ruled this place like a tyrant for 15 years, and maybe it's time someone pushed back. From there, things went from crazy to downright operatic. Barbara made calling 911 into an art form. Monday morning, she got the cops out for satanic music. It was Mozart played at volume 2, but hey, drama sells. Tuesday, she claimed toxic fumes from my grilled cheese sandwich. 4 firefighters in full gear showed up. Wednesday, jogging in a pink shirt, she called in a man in threatening attire casing the neighborhood. 3 patrol cars rolled up. Officer Martinez saying that he has finally warned her false calls are a crime. Didn't slow her down. Thursday, she accused me of stalking while she live-streamed herself with her GoPro. The net loved it, a TikTok creator. Even made a remix, Toxic fumes, call the crews, it's just cheese. Barbara, please. Views shot up, my subs went from 50 to 5,000 in a week, with comments rolling in. Bro, I thought my HOA was bad. That's when Tom Bradley, a 70-year-old Vietnam vet, showed up on my porch with coffee. She's been running this place like a dictator since '08, he said, and told me about how Barbara made him cut down the 100-year-old oak his wife loved. Tom dropped a bomb. My grandfather fought Barbara too, owned Riverside Holdings, put up a hell of a fight, then went bankrupt in 6 months. Never figured out how she did it, Tom said. Suddenly, Riverside Holdings on my lease was a smoking gun. Then came the emergency HOA meeting, a vote to evict me, the dangerous new resident. 54 neighbors, PowerPoint ready. Barbara listing every crime from taking out the trash at the wrong hour to jogging in gang colors. I tried to speak, pulled out the papers proving my ownership through Riverside Holdings. Before I could finish, Barbara called for security, her cousins Mike and Steve, and they physically dragged me out, documents scattering. Through the window, I saw Linda Park, the nervous treasurer, scoop them up and slip them into her folder. My phone buzzed, a text from Tom. Linda grabbed your papers. That woman knows something. That night, I dug into my grandfather's old storage unit. After 2 hours of dust and mothballs, I found a letter in his handwriting. If you're reading this, Barbara Henderson probably made your life hell. He'd put Riverside Holdings in a trust meant to transfer to me on my 30th birthday. She forged documents in '93, he wrote. Couldn't prove it, but the evidence might still be there. Things went nuclear from there. The bridge in the neighborhood, rotting and dangerous, became my project. After a dozen neighbors, Barbara included, with a tray of suspicious brownies, asked for help. I rebuilt it, documented everything, posted the whole process on YouTube. Parents were grateful, kids cheered. Then Mike, in a sweaty suit, declared the bridge illegal, rattled off imaginary codes, demanded $150,000 in fines. Barbara stood behind him, smirking. That's when I snapped. I went live, told the world the truth. I own all the land, Riverside Holdings, my inheritance. Barbara's been squatting on my property for 15 years. The live stream exploded. Barbara laughed, called Channel 7, spun the story as me threatening the community. Then an email arrived, Riverside Holdings property rights challenge, urgent. Barbara's counterattack, the HOA charter signed in '93, gave her complete autonomy regardless of land ownership. I'd played checkers. She was playing chess. My credit tanked. Anonymous tips to my employer made me seem unstable. Fines piled up. It felt hopeless until a USB drive appeared at my door. Linda Park, finally snapping, had sent 20 years of financial records, evidence of forged signatures, audio of Barbara threatening my grandfather, files showing $2 million skimmed through shell LLCs. The kicker. A dead man's switch. If Linda didn't reset it every 3 days, all the evidence would go to the FBI and the press. I called Sarah Mitchell. She showed up with a camera crew, jaw-dropping as she scrolled Linda's files. This is RICO-level stuff, racketeering, forgery, extortion. Then Tom brought a VHS tape from 1993, footage of Barbara physically forcing my grandfather's signature, threatening him with ruin. It was all there. Linda arrived, eyes red, but hands steady. She knows I gave you the USB, she said, suitcase full of receipts in tow. 20 years I helped her for my daughter's future. No more. The final showdown was set, an emergency HOA meeting, the media swarming, the state attorney outside waiting for Sarah's signal. Barbara tried to turn the tables, accusing Linda of theft, showing fake statements. But Sarah had the bylaws, residents could question financial matters. Linda confessed to the room but laid out the truth. Barbara threatened my family, forced me to forge check signatures. I have proof. The projector played videos, audio, decades of bribes, the VHS tape of my grandfather being coerced. The room erupted. Barbara lost it, screamed, called 911, accused us of being terrorists. The police arrived, and the state attorney walked in. Barbara Henderson, you're under arrest for embezzlement, racketeering, forgery, and filing false police reports. She fought, screaming, I am the HOA, but was cuffed, tripped over her PowerPoint clicker, dragged out, still vowing revenge. In the stunned silence, Tom stood up and said, I move to dissolve this HOA. Every hand shot up. Residents ripped down signs, burned rulebooks. For the first time, Serenity Lakes felt peaceful. By the lake, Tom planted a sapling for his late wife, for my grandfather, for the future. Linda hugged me. Your grandfather would be proud. As Barbara was hauled away, still shrieking, I looked out over the water, feeling the weight lift. Then the state attorney leaned in and said, ready for one last twist. And you know what? I have a feeling the story's not quite done. So tell me, was that the most satisfying downfall ever? Or what, rate Barbara's epic crash from 1 to 10 and drop your wildest HOA stories or revenge fantasies in the comments. Would you have fought back or just paid and left? Hit subscribe if you want more HOA mayhem, because trust me, I've got 20 years of it left to share.